I know this might come as a shock to my fellow analytical people, the people with the minimalistic or maximalistic notion templates, the people who fill the rim of their notebooks and their planners and constantly worrying about the how. I know this might come as a shock to all of us and a shock to you, but perhaps it's time to put down the plan. Put down that plan. Put down that pen. I know you're trying to open up a notebook as you're listening to this video. You're probably trying to plan in your head. No more planning. No more obsessive planning. It's time to do something that we thought we could never do. Go with the flow. Be relaxed, because if you're watching this video, if we are aligning right now, did you notice that your plans don't work? Sometimes your plans do work. Even with the plans that do work, they never work how you planned them out to. So for example, you said you want to get to A to B, okay? And you said, okay, in order to get to A to B, I have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But what happens is that 1 doesn't happen, then you skip to 3, then you go to 4, and then somehow you end up at 7. You got to 7, but it did not happen in the way that you planned. So what I'm proposing for us to try is to chill and see what happens. Because if the plans haven't worked, perhaps the plans don't work. Am I saying to throw all planning out the window? Absolutely not. Absolutely have a destination. Absolutely know what you want, right? But maybe let go of the intricate how. Like for example, so basically I would want something and I would plan for the life of me to make this happen. I would push, hustle, work towards wherever that plan is. Because when we plan something, we're trying to achieve something. So I did that whole achievement thing and trying to force these things to happen through my plan. So basically what tends to happen when I try to force things to happen through my intricate plans, it has to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it has to be rigid, it has to be done in this order and at this time and doing all that kind of stuff, right? What usually happens is that it doesn't happen, and then I try to force it to happen and I get frustrated, and then I have to not plan anyway because the plan's not working. And then the second I stop fighting and I just go with the flow and allow things to just be up in the air, it works out better than I thought. When I say don't intricately plan, you might hear not plan at all, and that's not what I mean. Definitely know what the end result is that you want. Definitely know what it is that you want and have a rough idea on how to get there. Just to connect the dots, and the major milestones that you want to get there. If you say you want to go to college, you have to have a GED or a high school diploma or something like that. So you get that. That's one connect the dot. And then the next thing that you have to do is apply. That's another dot. And then you have a school that you want to go to, and you have that dot. And so you have those dots. But sometimes what happens is that we try to force a line because the dots are here and here. What we tend to do is try to force this linear line. It doesn't have to be a straight line. Sometimes it's or something, and we freak out when those things happen. But at the end of the day, you do get to the dot. So basically what I'm trying to say is trust yourself. Trust yourself, trust in God, trust that whatever next step or next dot you're trying to get to of this connect the dots game of life, it's okay for you not to know every single thing. It's okay for things to be a little bit foggy. Trust me. And I'll give you a little example to show you how things can happen and how this weird game of connected dots can actually be better than the plans that we make. Because my big connected dot that I wanted for my life was to go to university. That was the number one thing. I just finished community college and I wanted to go to university straight away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go reapply next year. I'm going to get another internship and I want to do all these things and try again next year for the next application cycle. And then as a chronic planner does, I made a second plan and a third plan. I was like, okay, if that doesn't work out, then I'm going to take a gap year and then I'm going to go to culinary school for this intensive culinary course so I can learn the basics of fine dining, do my YouTube channel. I'm going to focus on my business. I'm going to do all this. Then I'm going to reapply the next year and maybe start my restaurant business early, do something like that. That fell through. And then my C plan, my D plan, all of the plans completely fell through. And I was freaking out because I'm none of the plans are working. I don't know why I'm surprised because this always happens. But I was none of my plans are working. And then all of a sudden I say, you know what? I don't know. I'm just gonna give it up. I'm just going to give it up to God and I'm gonna give it up. I'm like, okay, I don't know what's happening. And then my dad was telling me, hey, why don't you check to see if your major is in your dream country? So then I checked my major for in this country that I was dreaming to go to, and I thought that I will have to wait 2 years to go there. I thought like I have to go there after the bachelor's, after all this, then I can go there. Maybe I can even live there after my master's if that's what I have to do. But then I checked my dream country, and they had a major at a really nice school, and then I signed up for that school, and then I got into that school. So inshallah, I'm getting my student visa to go to this university, to go to my dream country in 2 months, in less than 2 months, where I thought I was going to have to wait 2 years to go there. I was supposed to be in a completely different state, and now I'm going overseas to the place I've always wanted to go. I couldn't have planned that. That wasn't even on my radar. I was not thinking about this at all. This was not on my bingo card. This was not something that I could have planned. But this was something that happened. So not planning doesn't have to be scary. The thing that helps me not be so scared with not planning is expecting pleasant surprises. Instead of freaking out on how I can do it, being interested in how God is going to surprise me with it, or how life is going to surprise me with it, and what version of it is going to take. You just allow yourself to be guided, and you kind of have like some intuitions or some steps that you feel like you need to take, and you take them. And maybe you have to take those steps day by day, and then you work towards that goal the best that you can. Like you try to connect those dots. So if you want that luxury car, there are kind of like these connected dots that you have to do to get there, and you allow yourself to be guided in between those dots. And it might be such an amazing story on how you got it, and you're like, I don't even know how this happened. Like this happened sooner than I thought, this happened better than I thought, this happened in such an amazing way. Because there's this saying that I like, basically a saying, and I'm paraphrasing here because I don't remember it, but it's basically like, don't worry, your story is being written by the greatest of writers. Sure, I cry sometimes. Sure, I'm like, what the heck is going on? Yeah, I have all that. Yeah, I have all that and then some. So I'm not saying that it's easy, especially at first, especially, and I'm an MBTI nerd, especially if you're like a TJ, like an INTJ or an ISTJ or something like that. I'm an INTJ. This is not fun. This was not fun in the beginning, okay? I love to plan. I just took it down a notch, okay? Now I probably plan as much as a normal person. That's all I have for today. My PSA for today is just saying, hey, maybe let's try this. Let's try this go with the flow thing. And if you want, you can watch me do it and see what happens to see. Perhaps you can watch me and like, because that's what I'm doing. So maybe you can watch me and see like what happens to me. And then if things go well, then you can be like, okay, I'll do it. That's fine. You could do that. But yeah, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm locking in. I'm locking into this new thing. I'm locking in. I'm stepping away from like hustling and planning everything. Tried everything except this. So I'm trying this. So yes, this was Little Mint Bayinnah. So if you enjoyed this video, don't hesitate. Like and subscribe. And if you really, really enjoyed this video, I would highly suggest you check out my book called The Letters of the In-Between. It's a motivational, inspirational book for people that are going in between the connected dots, that weird middle stage, the transitional stage between who you are and who you're meant to be. If you want something to listen to and you love finance and you love business, you can check out my podcast, Muslim Women Love Funds. And so that was for today's video. And I'm filming this video early in the morning because one thing that I always hear, one thing that we always hear, okay, when it comes to successful people and all that kind of stuff, they'll be like, oh, I wake up at 5 a.m. and whatever. So I said, I really don't get the point because they're like, oh, we have so much time. But I'm like, there's 24 hours in a day. You're up the first 12 hours and I'm up this last 12 hours. Like, I'm still productive and getting things done. So I don't really know what this is about. And I think I'm going to do the next podcast episode about this because I want to see what is with this early morning fixation. I don't know what it is, okay? Maybe it's because, like, you meet certain different people when you wake up early or something like that. I don't know. So I'm trying this out. But one thing is that I was able to film this video because usually I don't have like a good pocket of time to do it because I live with my family, and they're loud. They're not that loud, but louder than what I need, because I think that the people that do wake up early are not able to articulate it well why we need to do it, or they're gatekeeping. So that's why I'm waking up early. And that's what the next podcast episode is about. Already started the early streak. And then after, but it's nice. Actually, it actually is nice because nobody's up and it's really quiet. Usually what I do is I just stay up really late to have the same effects, but it feels good. Like, I'm not used to seeing the sun. I'm very nocturnal. I don't really like this. I don't really like the sun that much. But the sun is great. But it does feel nice. Like, I don't feel disturbed. So maybe there is something to this. So anyway, that's what the next podcast episode is going to be about for Muslim Women Love Funds. We're going to figure out why successful people need to wake up early, and we're also going to wake up early to see what's up. I still don't know what's up, but I feel good for some reason. Anyway, so thank you so much for being here. Like, subscribe. Love you. I can't wait to see you in the next video.